Rifle scopes. This new line features 8 custom-designed reticles for specific applications, as well as a full lifetime warranty on all scopes. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Want to shoot off your mouth? This is the place. It's Gun Talk. Call 866-TALK-GUN.
Well, I think we're really getting into the busy time of the election series this season. We're going to have the Iowa caucuses this week. Of course, we're going to have the State of the Union. And I am always amazed, I had it happen this week, there are gun people out there, gunnies, who will say, well, Donald Trump hasn't done anything for us. He's not a pro-gun guy. And I'm puzzled by that. And then they always say, well, bump stocks. Okay, cool. Yeah, he screwed up on that one. I got it. He did. And he does say things that occasionally you're thinking, oh, man, that's cringeworthy. Really? But it's not really what he says, it's what he does. And he's done so much. And if you don't know about it, you must be hanging out on ar15.com and listening to the noise there, where you'll not learn anything, but you sure will get mad at everybody and love to try to destroy other gun people, gun companies, pro-gun politicians, because somehow it feels so good to be more pure than others. Counterproductive, but boy, it sure makes you feel good. We're the only no-compromise gun. Yeah, really, I know. Don't do anything, but by golly, you don't compromise either. Okay. I'm not saying compromise is what you got to do, but I'm just saying there are some folks out there for whom being uninformed, they wear as a badge of honor. Trump is the most pro-gun president in 50 years. Name me another one. There's your challenge right there. Pick one. Tell me who was a better pro-gun rights president in the last 50 years. I'll wait. While we're waiting, let me bring in my friend Dave Workman joins us. He's a journalist. He is a gun guy. He's a holster maker. He's been around this a long, long time. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm sneaking by. At least this time I'm not on the side of a mountain someplace. So.
We did kind of ambush you one time and caught you when you were out grouse hunting, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Trust me, listeners, you can't get away from Tom Grisham. He's everywhere.
You know, you are, I would say, one of the original journalists when it comes to gun rights. A lot of people have written about guns, but when it comes to gun rights, I would rank you right up there as one of the original journalists. We are now fortunate they got some other folks working it, and it's nice to have company, people like Stephen, and we've got Kodria and Gutowski and some others. But in your tenure watching all of this, there's a certain, I don't know, how you, and you know what I'm talking about when I did the intro, where you got some of the folks on our side who somehow want to take pride in not being aware of what's going on. When people say Donald Trump is not a pro-gun president, I just throw up my hands and go, what in the world are you talking about?
Yeah, that really astounds me. It's one of the big puzzlers of life, Tom. You and I have been around this block. We've talked to a lot of people who, for some reason, they'll come up with, well, I don't vote because I don't want my name on a list, or I can't remember who I voted for, which means they didn't vote.
Right.
The excuses that people come up with to not participate, to not vote, they're right up there next to the people who say Donald Trump, he's an anti-gun president because we have bump stocks. Well, okay, bump stocks, you're right. He screwed up on that one. But we've got 180-plus vacancies on the federal courts filled now with conservative judges and 2 Supreme Court justices. Tell me, who else would have done that?
Nobody. We've never had anybody do that. And to put a fine point on that, that's not something that has an impact for the next 2 years. That has an impact for the next 30 or even 40 years. It is massive.
Yeah, and for somebody to claim that Trump is not a pro-gun president, it boggles my mind. He's got two sons. Both of them are just absolutely dog-nuts gun guys. Mm-hmm. I think Donald Jr. is big into reloading. And, you know, if you're a reloader, you're a gun guy. Trust me.
No kidding. It's absolutely the truth.
And something else about that people need to understand about Trump or any other family, my family included, yours certainly too, blood counts more than anything else.
Yeah.
No dad is going to screw his sons, even if he's the president of the United States.
It's a great point.
It's not going to happen.
Now, let me ask you, you've been writing about this Second Amendment sanctuary movement. Everybody is focused hard on Virginia, but it's not just in Virginia, is it?
No, it's not. In fact, you know, about a year ago, I started writing for AmmoLand. Freddie Reel over there, he asked me a couple of times, and finally we put something together. And one of the first assignments he actually asked me to do was a big piece on the sanctuary movement and how to put one of these together. So I did some homework. I interviewed a guy over in Illinois, how he did it. I talked to some people in, I think it was New Mexico. I talked to some people here in Washington State where I am. And I put this piece together, and it's kind of the map of how you start a sanctuary movement in your county or in your community. Okay. And it's been a fascinating process for me because now we've got whole states, I think Wyoming, Kansas, Alaska, they're all sanctuaries. Mm-hmm. And this, I think, is just a slap in the face to the Democrats on Capitol Hill right now and the Democrats in Virginia and in Washington and in Oregon and in a couple of other states, California, for example, the New Mexico problem that the sheriffs jumped in there, and you know, God bless the sheriffs down there.
Yes.
You know, they'll wear a badge of honor long after they hang up their 10-star. It's been just a remarkable process where all of these counties have said, no, you know, you go ahead and you pass whatever gun law in the Capitol you want to. We're not going to enforce it because we think it's not constitutional, and that's it, period. We took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the state and the United States. You're not going to make us break that. And, you know, regardless of the arrogance that we've seen in Richmond, after 22,000 citizens descended on the Capitol, the Democrats now in control in Richmond, thanks to Mike Bloomberg, they passed a bunch of gun laws.
Yep.
But there's something like 90 counties in the state of Virginia that aren't going to enforce any of those gun laws. So where does that leave those people anyway?
Well, it's an interesting question. Let's leave that to the backside. I need to take a break here. We're talking with Dave Workman, writer for AmmoLand and for other places. By the way, if you're not following AmmoLand, it's online. Just look for AmmoLand. Really good news. You can find out what's going on. It's a great place to stay informed as well. If you'd like to join us here, 866-TALK-GUN. I have a thought on the whole sanctuary movement. It is interesting. It is inspiring. I'm not sure it does us a lot of good as it exists, but I think there's a way for us to use it and have it really do a lot for us. I'll talk about that when we come back. 866-TALK-GUN.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Mental health and guns. At Walk the Talk America, we are working with both the mental health community and the gun industry. Created by a gun industry veteran, Walk the Talk America seeks to raise awareness and create change through suicide prevention and firearm safety without legislation. We strive to eliminate the prejudice that firearms and mental health face. For more information and to support Walk the Talk America, please visit walkthetalkamerica.org.
Since 1994, Crimson Trace has defined and built the laser sighting category through design, innovation, and performance. With an obsession to create best-in-class electro-optics, Crimson Trace now offers a full line of lasers, lights, reflex sights, red dot sights, and rifle scopes for tactical and sport applications. Most Crimson Trace products include free batteries for life, and all scopes are backed by a lifetime warranty. Find yours at your local dealer or at crimsontrace.com.
All right, back with you straight out of the news. Let's see. A man with a hoax device strapped to his body. This is London. It's just happening. Stabbed 2 people before armed officers shot him dead in South London. Yes, in London. No guns, right? We have no guns there, except people get stabbed, and so the police have to shoot them as well. We're talking with Dave Workman right now, and Dave, I was talking about the Second Amendment sanctuary movement, and my thought on that is that while it is interesting and fascinating and encouraging, I'm not sure it's actually doing anything right now, but I think I know how it can, because if all we do is say these local jurisdictions are not going to enforce the laws, but the states are still passing them, then the laws are still on the books, these bad gun control laws. But what if, and here's where I'm going to hand it off to you, what if we use the Second Amendment sanctuary movement where people are showing up by the thousands and thousands and use those people to mobilize people who have never been mobilized before to actually get to the legislatures and stop this foolishness? Did we? Oh, we lost Dave. I'll tell you, we'll get him back. My thinking here is that it's an opportunity. It's people who are showing up. We got Dave back. Dave, the question was, if we got Second Amendment sanctuaries, and all that is locality saying we're not going to enforce the laws, but the laws are still on the books, I'm thinking maybe the bigger value is thousands and thousands of people getting involved and going to these rallies, and now we have people who've never been mobilized before, and maybe we can use them as our activists. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I wrote about this actually the other day at Liberty Park Press, and I mentioned it. I write for a lot of people, as you well know. I'm all over the place. You can't get away from me either. But the left, the anti-gunners, have long stated, and they've believed this, that symbolism really counts. Well, what we've got is symbolism, too, with the sanctuary counties, and it's driving the left absolutely nuts because you've got lawmen, you've got elected officials, you've got tens of thousands of law-abiding citizens who are saying, hey, no, period, no. Do you know what that means? It means no. And the left is really befuddled by all this. Sure, they can pass the laws, but the symbolism is a powerful political weapon. And I think you're right. It has mobilized tens of thousands of people who previously may have not voted at all. They sit home on Election Day. They complain about, this, that, and the other. And when the final analysis comes out, now they're involved because they know it's their ox being gored, and they're going to do something about it.
I know there are people who are thinking, Yeah, I've been watching that, but I'm not getting involved in that. And I would say to them, it's an opportunity that has not existed before. There, in every state, there's always been a core group of dozens or a couple of hundred people who would go to the state legislature. But now you've got thousands of people who will show up for a rally. This is a unique opportunity. We've simply not had this before. And my encouragement to them, and this is, I would ask you, Dave, because you've been following this, is it's the old, every pitch is met with, whether it's stated or not, the same challenge, which is what's in it for me. Obviously, there's Second Amendment, there's all the rest of it. But you know what else is in it for you is being a part of something big and having that feeling of being a part of something important and having a purpose for what you're doing. And that's a lot. I mean, you see people with these things. Nobody is mad or unhappy. Everybody's smiling and having a good time because they're with like-minded people.
Yeah. And I see this even at some of the smaller rallies that I've tended to cover. You get 300 or 400 like-minded people, and suddenly you've got the beginning of a movement. And it's really encouraging when you see people who may never have been political before, they come out of the woodwork and they say, you know what, I'm drawing the line right there. Don't cross it. And they mean it. And I think what has happened in Richmond is going to blow up in their faces at the next election, which is going to be in 2021. They bit off more they could chew. I know Mike Bloomberg spent his Every Town for Gun Safety Action Fund poured $2.5 million into that election to swing it to the Democrats. Bloomberg is now running for president. He's already spent more than $200 million of his own dollars to get all of his advertising out there in what he thinks is some of the key states. Every town is going to spend a minimum of $60 million around the country on advertising, and most of that advertising is going to be anti-gun advertising because Bloomberg's got this thing about guns.
Oh, he does. And even though he's surrounded by guns all the time. You know, and there's something else, Dave, is that a lot of the advertising he's buying is not going to be seen by us because it's not going to be on TV. It's going to be targeted social media advertising that if you're not already kind of leaning that way, you'll never see it. You don't even know it's there.
That's right. And the unfortunate thing is too many gun people don't understand modern communications. They'll get on Facebook or they'll belong to a chat group. And, you know, that's fine. That's where people can interact. But they don't really use that to a political advantage, whereas the left, they've got all of these 20-something geeks out there, the millennials, who really aren't our friends, a lot of them, and they know how to weaponize this stuff, just like Bloomberg is weaponizing his vast wealth, and they turn that into a political weapon, and we're behind on that one. I'm afraid we are. We're back in the dust.
Well, we are, but
and our guys got to catch up.
But the sanctuary movement, I think, is a foil against that. It's a way of people to get involved, to be aware, to know what's going on, that kind of a thing. And I guess what I would ask is that people really start paying attention to this. And, you know, I'm going to go back to, I put out a call this past week. I'd like for people to devote 20 minutes a day in 2020 for their Second Amendment activism. That's all I need, 20 minutes a day, writing letters, sending emails, and frankly, just becoming informed, going to places like Ammo Land, reading your works, because if you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to react, you don't know where to send your efforts.
Well, that's true, and I think you just put it right in the bullseye. All people have to do is jump onto this sanctuary movement, weaponize that activism, because we've got an election coming up in 10 months. we got to win that election. We've got to win that election at the federal level and at the state levels.
Yes.
In order to protect what we've got.
And that's what I was going to say. You said Virginia's 2021, but actually we all have an election in 2020, and it's huge.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and frankly, if you're a gun owner, I don't care what you think about him any other way. You got to get Donald Trump reelected. What are you going to do? Take Bernie Sanders, who is, committed to taking your guns away? All the Democrats are committed to taking away your guns. It's insane to not just vote, but to get active in getting people registered to vote and building your teams and making sure they're doing early voting and all the rest of it. There's the gunvote.org website will help you with all of that.
All you've got to do is change 10% of the vote, or maybe 10 votes in each precinct, and you got a victory going there. And that's not as difficult as it sounds. It may sound difficult, but it's not. And here's something else too. All the guys that are in gun shows today or next weekend, if they took 10% of what they're spending on ammunition to put in their mom's basement or wherever the hell they're going to put it, if they sent that money to, say, the Citizens Committee or to the Second Amendment Foundation to fight the legal battles, and like it or not, send some to the NRA to make sure that they can continue their legislative fight and their lobbying fights and political fights for the election. This really is for all the marbles, and you can tell that by how the Democrats are changing their rules to let Bloomberg into Iowa because they're terrified that Bernie Sanders is going to get the nomination. That's what's going on there.
It's true. Dave Workman, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. It was really great to see you at the SHOT Show.
Well, you didn't see me at the SHOT Show. Remember, I sat that one out.
That's what I say. SHOT Show was great without you, my friend. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's a lot. Well, it'll be the same. It'll be the same rubber chicken next year.
There you go. Take care, Dave Workman. If you're not following him, you really need to. What a good writer. What a good researcher. All right, so what's your level of commitment? I guess that's the question. Are you going to be in? Are you going to sit it out? 866-TALK-GUN. If you have an idea of how we can do better, let me know.
We'll keep talking. You keep reloading. Here's Tom.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. If there's a gun you want to talk about, or caliber, absolutely, let's talk about it. One that you really like or you've always thought you'd wanted to have. Got any questions? I'll work with you on it. Again, 866-TALK-GUN. Mark is called in from Hampton, Virginia on 3. Hey, Mark, you're on Gun Talk. What's on your mind?
Hey, Tom, I got to take your cash for one thing. I came in on part of it, so I may not have heard every aspect of it and getting a false impression. But I know you're not a huge proponent of open carry, but it sounded like somebody had called in and was wanting the rest store or something was wanting to ban people from carrying, and you suggested just put a sign up to ban open carry.
Oh, okay. Let me help you out because, you didn't catch all of that. Yeah,
okay, I thought I might not have.
Sure. Guy sent me a note. And look, here's the deal. I have no problem with open carry at all. I just don't do it. For me, I don't think it's a smart move. But hey, you want to open carry? Knock yourself out. Here's what happened. He went to a restaurant. It had no gun sign. So he went back to his car, got in the car, called the restaurant, spoke to the manager. Turns out that what the manager had a problem with is people open carrying AKs and ARs in the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so the guy said, well, look, if your issue is with open carry, and the manager said, yeah, we know people conceal carry here, and that's not a problem. He said, well, why don't you put up a sign that says no open carry instead of just no guns? He said, the manager said, oh, I never thought of that. So I'll give that some thought. That was all it was. It was trying to figure out, okay, what's the objection? And I have said this for years. And look, if you want to open carry your gun, fine. I do have a philosophical problem in terms of I don't think it helps us when people walk into restaurants wearing their long guns. If you want to do it at a rally, knock yourself out. But, man, when you go into a place, you scare the people there, and I don't think it helps us to walk around a restaurant with your AK or AR with you.
Look, I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, long guns, yes, that's handgun's one thing, but yeah, long gun, especially inside. Yeah, I'm a gun guy, but okay, yeah, I can definitely see it does not help. So
my thinking is, folks who want to carry their ARs or AKs into restaurants or into the mall, they're not doing that because they want to carry those for defense. They're doing that as a look at me, look how cool I am move. And I think tend to be unaware of what the actual reaction is on the part of people. Now, I know some people disagree with me. They think, well, we're going to normalize this. I don't know. Is it working? I mean, here, question for you. Mark, do you think it normalizes it? Do you think your average person sitting in a restaurant who sees 2 or 3 people walk in with ARs and AKs, they look at that and go, oh, that's cool. I'm getting used to that.
No, not with long guns. Handguns is kind of different, and I think the public generally sees that as a defensive weapon, whereas, long gun and stuff, it sends the wrong message that you're right. But I didn't realize they were talking about long guns, and I would say, it's not the best course of action, and it probably does hurt more than it helps. If you're outside at a rally, that's one thing, and all, but in stores like that guy that did Walmart, he just, that was stupid on his part, even if that Walmart had that problem before. The other one where they had the shooting earlier, it was just bad optics. It just, painted us all in a bad light. Yeah, you're right, but it's also their right to say, we don't want you in here.
Well, there's that. And then, so this guy was trying to find an accommodation, and so that he was writing me about what he had done. So that was what it was. But look, I appreciate you calling and asking so you didn't get the wrong impression, because I get a lot of people say, well, you said this. And I'm going, no, actually, I've never said that and would never say that. Oh, yeah, you said that. And then we go listen to the recording and they go, oh, I guess you didn't say that. So we get a lot of that. Mark, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Let's go to line 4. Dr. Johnny D is with us. That's Florida Carry. What's going on, Johnny D?
Yeah, well, this weekend in Dunellen, Florida, there's going to be an event. It's the 3rd annual, and it was put together by Kevin Sona of Florida Carrier. And so there's going to be a bunch of folks speaking, including, I'll give you the list, Paul Lathrop, Holly Webster, Mike Piowarski, Greg Hopkins, Kerry Sloan, Rob Morris, Rick Ector, myself, Chris Wagner, David Katz, Eric Friday, and Craig DeLuz.
Oh, that's a good lineup.
Cast. Yes, and it's free. It's at the Rainbow Springs State Park in Dunellen, Florida. I think it's a $2 entrance fee to the park. Bring your own chair, and there's going to be some lunch served. Probably little burgers and hot dogs. So that's one thing I wanted to let everybody know. So if you're in the kind of Ocala, Orlando area, it's going to go from about 10:30 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon.
Great.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be a lot of good people.
You also had a range report for us.
Yes. I recently picked up a Ruger Mark IV, which I love, by the way, the Mark IV. That's awesome.
Yep.
2245. And I put a Holosun 507C red dot on it.
Okay.
And when I picked up my gun, interestingly, the guy at the range, the gun store, says, "Yeah, we had one with a problem with the rail getting loose." And so I checked mine, and it seemed tight. And after shooting, the rail loosened up again. So when I got home, I called Ruger and I said, "Hey, this is going on." And I used a torque wrench to tighten it back down. And he said, put some blue Loctite on it and see what happens. Let it sit for a couple of days. Right. And I took it back to the range on Thursday, and it loosened up again. And it's a very soft type of aluminum receiver that has, the barrel inserted into it.
Right.
So I called them back up again, and they said, well, send it in, let's take a look at it. So they're going to address the issue, but I just want people to know, if you buy this gun, probably would be smart to go ahead and take the screws out, blue Loctite them, and put them back in with a torque wrench. The guy said that it's supposed to take up to 16 inch-pounds of force, but I would be real careful with that because I think it's a potential issue. And I talked with Michelle, and she said she hasn't seen that problem, but just everybody's information.
Sure.
And I'll give you a follow-up when I get it back and make sure they fix it.
And I'm with you. I love that pistol. I think, and particularly like the 2245 grip design. That is just so much fun to shoot.
Oh, and it's awesome, and and I bought it to teach nurses how to shoot. By the way.
Oh, that's cool. Very good.
Yeah,
well, Dr. Johnny D, thank you so much. And look, give us another range report after this event. Let us know how it went. Okay.
Okay, sure will.
That'd be terrific. I appreciate that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Jim, Robert, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you in here as soon as we come back. But we do have room for others if you'd like to join us. If there's something on your mind you're thinking about buying or you just bought, love to know about that. Yeah, I still got this rifle. I haven't taken it to the range. It's driving me crazy because I got it right before the SHOT Show, and I have not had a chance to get it out there. I haven't even put a scope on it yet, so at least maybe I can do that. 866-TALK-GUN.
The Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ pistol revolutionized personal protection with its easy-to-use design. Now, enter the M&P Shield EZ in 9mm. Built for personal and home protection, the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield EZ pistol features the same easy-to-rack, easy-to-load, and easy-to-shoot design of the M&P Shield EZ series. Available at a retailer near you. Find out more at smith-wesson.com.
Visit guntalk.com/win to enter Gun Talk's Start the Year with SIG giveaway. 4 grand prize winners will receive one of the following: the new Sig Sauer Cross bolt-action precision rifle chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor with an 18-inch barrel and a 2-stage match trigger. SIG's BDX system with the Kilo 1600 rangefinder and a Sierra A3 4.5 to 14 power rifle scope to use with the Applied Ballistics Data BDX smartphone app. The P320 X5 Legion 9mm pistol with 3 17-round mags. Or the SIG P320 X full pistol with Romeo 1 Pro Open Reflex red dot sight. No state restrictions for the SIG Cross rifle and the BDX system. Winners pay taxes on all awarded prizes. For multiple chances to win, enter now through February 14th at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
Hey, don't forget, we do have this crazy giveaway going on right now. A whole bunch of stuff from SIG. Their new Cross bolt-action rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor, the BDX system, a Kilo 1600 rangefinder, a P320 X5 Legion. What a great pistol, that thing. Got a P320 X full Romeo 1 Pro. It's unbelievable. Giving away all these prizes. Go to guntalk.com/win. Enter. You can't win if you don't enter. guntalk.com/win. All righty. Jim is called in from Nebraska, line 1. He's got his name on something here. What you got there, Jim?
Yeah, I have my name on a list to get one of the new Pythons.
Nice.
And a neighbor called me and said that they were being recalled. Is that true?
They had a short recall on some of them, yes. But I think, talking to the Colt people, I think they have it figured out. Do not take your name off the list.
Well, I wasn't going to. My name can sit there a long time. I can go buy something else.
There you go.
And then when my name comes up, I can buy it.
Right. Wait
can I
it
ask
out.
you another question?
Yeah.
You mentioned that you purchased a Ruger number 1 or had received a new Ruger number 1. Mm-hmm. Are they a special order item now? I can't find anybody that, any catalogs that have Ruger number 1 in them.
Well, you have to go to the Ruger website, Ruger.com, and they have the number 1s listed there. But honestly, if you go to the Lipsy's is one of the distributors that they use. And Lipsy's has become the exclusive distributor for number 1s.
Oh, okay.
If you go to Lipsy's.com. Now, having said that, there's also the secret sauce here, which is the one I ordered is not available through either one of those. All right, hold on here. I got to get you the right website here. Let's see.
Okay, thank you.
Sporting Classics. Sporting Firearms.
Sporting Firearms. Okay.
Let me find it. I got to see if I can find it. I'll have to look it up because I don't have the right. But it's like Classic firearms, or classic sporting firearms. It's one guy who does these Ruger number ones, and this one is a special run of 25-inch barrel chambered for the 280 AI, actually improved. But if you're looking for number ones, you go to Lipsy's website, lipsys.com. They are kind of the place where everybody goes for those. Now, obviously, if you want, Ruger has cut down. They used to make the number ones in a lot of different calibers.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's like 1 or 2 calibers a year. But there are a number of them available at the Lipsy's website, and your local gun store can order directly from Lipsy's, have it there in a couple of days. But obviously, if you want one of the chamberings that they no longer make, now you go on the used market to, Auction Arms or Gun Broker or one of those places and see what you can find there. Are you a number one fan?
Yes, I am. I have a 405 Winchester, and I have a 9.3 by 74R.
Really?
I kind of like those.
Yeah. Okay, ClassicSportingArms.com. I finally found it. ClassicSportingArms.com. All righty?
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Good luck with it. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Robert on 5, Smith Valley, Nebraska. Hey, Robert, what you looking for?
Hey, Tom. Yeah, how you doing today? I'm in Nevada.
Good.
Hey, I got a question for you. I've been shooting a Winchester Model 7270 all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I hunt elk, mule deer, antelope. And I just, for some reason, I can hit them in the breadbasket, and they just don't go down in their tracks. And I've tried all kinds of different ammo.
What bullet you use? I mean, is it with everything?
Yeah, Federal trophy bonded bear claw, just about everything. They're just, I just don't know what it is, but they don't just pour right through them. But I'm looking at the 6.5 PRC. I was listening to you talk about that a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of recoil difference does that is the difference between a 6.5 PRC and a 270 number one?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question I have for you is what kind of a lightweight rifle in like a Savage or something can I get to marry that to where I can do?
Well, right. Last question first. A lot of companies are now starting to chamber with the 6.5 PRC. For those who don't know, the 6.5 PRC is basically a 6.5 Creedmoor Magnum. It adds about 300 feet per second to what a Creedmoor does. You're actually not going to feel much difference in recoil between that and a 270. That's because there's not going to be a lot of difference between the two. And honestly, and here's the bottom line, if you're not shooting past about 350 yards, there's no particular benefit. Because the only real benefit of the 6.5s is going with the long bullets, the high BC bullets that lets you really take advantage of them out at 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 yards, which is great for target shooting, but not necessarily for game. I'm going to go back to deer are not falling down when you shoot them. How far do they run?
I shot a deer at about 200 yards, and he ran about 100 yards.
See, 100 yards is not bad. Here's the thing. And I'm just going to tell you, here's the secret. If you want them to fall down right where they are, use heavy bullets and break the shoulders.
Okay.
And people say, well, that's going to ruin meat. You cannot do the damage you need to do without ruining meat. If you want them to fall straight down, you have to break bones. I consider running 100 yards to be just fine. I don't have a problem with that. Some people do. But I have no expectation whatsoever of a big game animal going down when I shoot it. I expect it to run 50 to 100 yards if I shoot them right through the lungs, right through the heart, and that's okay. But if I'm in a place where I think, okay, I need him to fall right now, I try to get it set up where I can break one or both, preferably both shoulders. And if you're going to shoot that way, that's when you need a little bit heavier rig, a little bit heavier bullets, and tough, controlled expansion bullets that will get you the penetration you're looking for. What's your experience on dropping animals when you shoot them? 866-TALK-GUN. All right, back with you here. Let's go straight to line 1. Will's with us out of Texas. Hey, Will, thank you for your patience. You're on Gun Talk.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for taking my call. Really appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah. Last time I talked to you was maybe 10 years ago from California, where I was a political prisoner, but now I'm here in Texas, where I'm a free refugee. So,
well, welcome.
Yeah, finally, after 40 years, convinced my wife that weather was not the only factor in the quality of life.
Ah, okay. And I gather you are retired law enforcement.
30 years. I retired as a lieutenant. I worked for 2 separate agencies, a local PD and then a sheriff department. In my career, I did it, always on the operational side, from narcotics, homicides, SWAT entry guys, SWAT sergeants, and so on. So I've always been a Second Amendment guy. I've always been a guy who's been into the shooting sports a lot. I reload, I hunt, I'm that kind of guy. The reason for my call was I'd like to get maybe the input of any current or retired law enforcement officers in your audience and how they feel, how qualified are their fellow officers or former officers to carry a gun. And, well, I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, back in California, I think you only needed a 75% to pass the so-called state mandated qualification. The one in Orange County where I was very good. It had an electronic targets that would move up and down and facing and so on. They would issue you 36 rounds. At the end of that, I had times where I would ask the armorer to come over and double-check my target because I was given 36 rounds, but I would have 38, 40 holes on my target. How did that happen?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, somebody else is missing that badly. They're actually shooting your target.
Correct. And in my estimation, being with shooting clubs and rifle clubs and everything, folks that I've seen that are involved in the shooting sports, folks that have their CCW, folks that reload, also practice far more than your average police officer. In my opinion, the majority of them, and this is anecdotal, I'm only talking about what I observed, again, they do the minimal. And when I left, we had to qualify once a month, and you can go and shoot twice, 2 rounds of 36 rounds free every day. Well, I would say I would take advantage of that. Somebody else is paying for the ammo. You're damn sure I'm going to take advantage of it. I would take advantage of that maybe 3 to 5 times a week.
Right.
Not a lot of people at the ranges. They had several ranges. But there was a lot of people on the last couple of days before the end of the month.
So they can qualify. Trying to get qualified again, yeah.
Trying to get qualified. And then the other thing is that people are not aware of, in my opinion, again, and I was out in California, I'm being anecdotal again, law enforcement tends not to be very Second Amendment prone. They're into the mindset. Again, this is just me. That only cops and former cops should be the only ones that should carry a firearm.
Yeah, I've run into that as well. Well, look, I just got to thank you because, I've run into a lot of trainers, law enforcement trainers who say, look, cops are just terrible shots, and some of them are absolutely unsafe, and I've been around a few of them. Fortunately, most of the cops I work with are Second Amendment guys, and we're all at the range, we're shooting, and they're very good. But, the very idea that the public a lot of times leans on the police and says, what do you think we should do about gun issues? I hear what you're saying. They're asking the wrong people. Will, thank you so much for what you have done and career law enforcement, and thanks for weighing in on that. If you're a cop, if you've got some thoughts on this, by all means, we'd like to hear about it. 866-TALK-GUN. If you'd like to be a part of the after show, call me right now. We could do that. Don't forget, you can check out the after show anytime using the Gundealio podcast app or any podcast app out there. You'll be able to find out what we do when we're not on the air. Hey, be safe out there. Commit 20 in 2020. I need 20 minutes of your time every day. That's how we win.